Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be showcasing my first level 65 build and starting it off with a bang. This is honestly the most grotesque thing I have ever made since peak performance on Mar. I had to put an epilepsy warning in that video. So what is it? Well, I'm taking Flak and their massive E1, putting in a times 16 Mayhem scaling modifier, sprinkling on 495% gun damage, putting on a chaining effect for AoE, giving it lifesteal. And then because of Mayhem scaling, this hits harder than my Ion Cannon one-shot build, if you remember that one, and doesn't need 390 anoint for it. And honestly, probably doesn't actually need anoints. I might upload that as a separate video, now that I think about it. So how does this work? Well, we use a stackbot. Hello, this class mod's back, and has melee applications. Because stackbot, whenever we score a critical hit, we gain increased weapon damage. This is not bonus critical hit damage, this is bonus weapon damage. What gains weapon damage? The face puncher. Yes, I'm using this old bastard because I hate the existence of this gun. Why is it here? But whatever. And I would like to thank Ratore for the stackbot testing and essentially enabling this build to exist. He doesn't want to be blamed for it, but I'm going to blame him anyway. So then we use a bullet hose. It could be anything, it doesn't really matter. I'm using an old Monarch here, but a Dictator, Light Show, Stagecoach, whatever. Essentially we're just trying to get 99 hits within a Gorillas in the Mist period, which is very easy to do, and that's going to fully stack our stackbot. It goes up to 99, 5% per stack, 495% gun damage. And then introducing the face puncher itself, I hate this weapon with a passion, because its entire existence invalidates actually punching things, as melee. However, this is Borderlands, and I'm here to crush all hopes and dreams of an actual melee build, because 2.5 Mayhem scaling and guns, then an extra 500% gun damage we're getting. Yeah. Face puncher. Anoints, URAD consecutive hits or 100% melee all work quite well, 100% melee being my favorite. I also prefer the times 7 to the times 14, because it's way more consistent. It feels better. The times 14 doesn't even feel like it's performing better, if at all. And you need to reload a lot more. So yeah, I prefer the times 7 personally. Onto the shield, you can go pretty much whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. You can run Transformer, Old God, One-Shotter, Stock Gap, and in fact, bonus element here, this bonus 50%, that doesn't scale with our direct hit very well because Mayhem scaling, but it will scale effects from our artifacts. So I'm using the White Elephant here, so I'll get a proper 50% bonus on there, and if you're running static charges as well, it'll scale well with that. So for bossing, I definitely recommend a bonus element here. And then 100% melee on your gun. But for mobbing, you could get away with an ASS stock gap. As much as it pains me to recommend that, you can go right ahead. For grenades, unlike a normal flax, we're going to be avoiding the Hunter Seeker since it resets our stack bot. So run an Its Piss instead. That doesn't reset our stack bot and gives us an extra 20% damage. The artifact, Knife Drain and Stone Prefixes are going to be our go-to. You can do all the content in the game without thinking with Knife Drain, so prioritize that. Even True Guardian Takedown, I'll have some gameplay. All gameplay, by the way, that I'll end up showing is the hardest difficulty possible. True Takedown, Trivial Thunder Mode, even though that doesn't make a difference. Yeah, it's all on True. Where was I? Yeah, so we're going to be using a White Elephant for bosses, and then Static Charge for mobbing. I've got Stone White Elephant, but honestly, I don't think it's needed. It just does that much damage. You could just run Knife Drain for the safety of it. Yeah, because our single target damage is just so high as well. This Static Charge here, this isn't just like support. This can insta-gib enemies. There was a couple instances during True Maliwan Takedown. It was insta-gibbing a lot of the ads there, so yeah, Static Charge is very powerful here, and of course that damage loops back into Groundbreaker, which improves our single target damage even more, which is handy for bossing with when bosses have got ads there, which, well, I say handy, the boss is already dead. You could just walk into boss fights and just delete them. And mobbing and pretty much anything. So, onto the spec. Yeah, so Ratore is going to be pretty standard for a normal gun build. There's nothing really different here. there is actually nothing different to a normal gun build here. We just kind of grab as much damage as we can, the utility of head count leave no trace, and some reload speed of second intention, because this 3% gun damage is absolutely nothing when we have 500% from our class mod. On to green, again, same as a normal gun build, however running self-repairing system instead of a Furious Attack. And self-rep isn't really doing as much, but Furious Attack doesn't stack with a face puncher, so we pretty much have to run self-rep since it does something, albeit not that much. Then we got some overclocked for some extra fire rate, and then that moves us down into like the runes, turn tail and run for that damage reduction and fire rate and damage. BFS to help keep our pet alive, because our pet is really, really tanky. You only need the 1 point here. Fast and Furious. Hidden Machine, for when it is active. Again, it's just a bit of free damage. And we got Rage to Recover. They did fix this. So it's nice having a little bit of passive healing, although we've got full life steal. We can just... This is just to get us down the tree, really, to Parasite for that extra 50% V1. Then on to blue. Standard blue here. We've got 3 in Persistent Sun Tone. That takes us down in 1 to He Bites in order to stack Frenzy, which is another 40% V1. Flak single target damage. I say this every video with Flak, just because of how true it is. The damage of Flak is absolutely nutty. And then we've plugged that weakness of Knife Drain, so Flak no longer bad, Flak now good. Slice Steal. I hate it. I hate it. So onto the gameplay loop. To activate Gorillas in the Mist, Fade Away, unload our bullet hose for a bit, to stack up our stackbot. Don't get a hit outside of Fade, otherwise you might reset it. And we swap to Face Puncher. Grenades, barrels, hollow points, darts, pet darts, and just about anything else will not reset our stackbot. So once we're onto the Face Puncher, it's just going to stay at 495%. The only 2 things that will reset it is map transitions and safeguarding, obviously, and going down into Fight for Your Life. But because we have the lifesteal, it's just going to full heal us on every shot. And the damage that will rival that of a trainer, going down isn't really much of an issue. As for action skills, I'm running Rax here for the extra aggression on IC uptime, but the more I think about it, after you do your Gorillas in the Mist fade, you can flick it on over to 3-shot fade, and not my Circus. And this would be more Hidden Machine, and you'd have more aggro relief to, you know, further lower the chances of going down, but honestly, going down is not an issue in this build, I promise you that. So that choice is pretty open. And then from here, it's just a point-and-click adventure. What is this build good at? Well, if you can think of it in this game, then it's good at it. It's, as I say, a point-and-click adventure. You can walk around ads, one-tapping them all. You can walk into the boss, just, you know, gun them down, and... what's great about this is it doesn't require any setup. You're not sat there stack and do harm. You're not sat there, you know, stack and stack bot for your one big iron cannon shot. You just walk in and shoot the boss and it dies. Yeah, this build just eats it all. I hate it. This is where we're at. And yeah, just to point out that whole Fight for Your Life restacking, stackbot thing, resetting stackbot, it's very easy to restack. Just hot swap back to Gorillas in the Mist again, and go again. And to be honest, I didn't even notice that it reset it at first. I had to confirm with Ratore, because Flak has so much damage. Even if you do go down, you'll still be you'll still slice through enemies, so it's not really a problem. Obviously, you're losing some damage, 500% gun damage, and it is noticeable, but not that much. And that's it. That's the build. You know that similar Amara setup, you know, with the whole face puncher and ties and stuff. Well, this does more damage. And it doesn't require multiple targets. You know, it's that rule. Make a build on Amara, remake it on Flak. Just like Stinger Spam and Rack Stab, if you're aware of that build. Absolutely amazing build. So yeah, that's PUNCHBOT. Have I said I hate it? I hate it. What have I done? So to end things off, this build is relatively easy to farm. It's one DLC item, DLC 1, the stackbot, and then a bunch of non-Mayhem 6 items, you know, just some artifacts, the shields or whatever, grenades or whatever. The face punch is relatively easy to farm. The boss that drops it spawns right next to a fast travel station, or a spawn-in station rather. So it's a very quick farm is that. The Monarch isn't a core part of the build, of course, and it's thoroughly replaceable. Recommend a ×6 Dictator if you can. But if you are not the farming type, for the first time in Borderlands 3, I'm making my save file public. So now it might not be 100% clean, there's probably some old items on there that aren't really relevant. I just basically took my normal FLAC, copy and pasted it, and then just turned it into this. But, I don't know, there might be some goodies in there. I think there's a ×25 stagecoach in there, if you're after one. So if you're on PC, you can head into the video description, join the Discord, scroll down to the saves channel, and it'll be right at the very tippity top, and you can also do a search for PUNCHBOT, one word. Console players, unfortunately, you've got no way of downloading saves. However, Gearbox did announce crossplay, so that would mean that somebody on PC could just take the save, drop all of the items, and then you could just pick them up in the same game. You can already transfer stuff to console, it's just really complex, so hopefully with crossplay, depending on whenever that comes in, it'll be way easier to do. Anyway, I'm rambling, so with that, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoy the build. Asterisks on that one. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.